Welcome to episode 236 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. On today's episodes, we start off with some headlines. Brian Daboll out as New York Giants head coach. Inconsistent play from the Packers, Bills, and Broncos. Who's the MVP? And Travis Hunter out for the season. In the home field report, the home team report, rather, Dan discusses the Ravens' big win, and I will talk about the Commanders and what they have not been able to achieve. All that in wrapping up with the Kirby on Sports PickEm. That all comes your way next as we try to achieve perfection on episode 236 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Yes, welcoming you to episode 236 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. Huge shout out to Frederick County Parks and Recreation, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest, and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, Nulook Landscaping, the Cider House, Barry Pearson with Equipment Share Advanced Solutions, and the official energy drink partner of the Kirby on Sports podcast, Don't Sleep Energy. Use promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. We appreciate the support of all of our sponsors on the Kirby on Sports podcast. And make sure you check out anything and everything Kirby on Sports podcast related at www.kirbyonsports.com. It's a jam-packed episode, and we started by bringing in the weapon, Dan Dembski. Dan, it's really, really great to see him, my friend.
Likewise, I thought you were going to have some grand intro, but no, I'm just kidding. Not good to be back. Good to be here again. Another week. Crazy episode 236. Like, that's just hard to wrap my head around, to be honest. Yeah. That many episodes of the Kirby on Sports podcast, but glad to be here, man. Excited to talk about this week's action.
Yeah, we had a little bit of miscommunication, and I thought you were down for the count, but I'm glad you're here. But
I am not critically ill. I'm fine, and I'm alive and well. So I'll just leave it at that.
And we have to.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, your eyes do deceive you, because finally the Swiss Army knife has come back to the podcast. I apologize to the millions and millions of the Swiss Army Knives fans for not being on the show last week, because I took 1 week off and this show sucked. Because Dan Dembski could not keep Josh Kirby's awful takes in line. So with that being said, I am back, and we have officially hit 1,000 days as your reigning, defending, undisputed, three-time Pick'em's champion, yes, the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez. A better intro than Josh Kirby could ever give me. And that's all I got to say about that. If you smell what the Swiss Army knife is cooking.
There's no way to follow that up with anything else. That was just perfect. The perfect promo, Carlos. Thank you.
What bad takes are you referring to?
You, just in general, are a bad take.
I'm sorry I let you down. I might have let him go a little crazy last week for sure. Especially during the Kirby. The Kirby's crying corner was hot and heavy last week for sure. I should have.
Indeed, it was.
I should have stepped in, but I told him. I said, "Hey, I think you have a right this week to cry." So I said, "Go for it."
Yep.
That was my. He's raising up.
What is going on here? What are we doing?
This is only for the visual. This is only for the YouTube.
Carlos situated.
He's got all the belts. He's got to get all the belts.
We got all the belts, baby. We got all the belts here. 3 belts, 3 years, 1,000 days of greatness, baby. And ain't none of y'all gonna take these beautiful gold belts off of me. We're getting the 4th, and I'm leaving. There will be no real champion after this. I will retire as the last real champion. All right.
Amazing.
We missed you, Carlos. It's an honor and a pleasure to
fired up now. I'm fired up. I can run through a brick wall now.
Look at that outfit he's got.
Go.
What a fire outfit. I mean,
it's Carlos. He dresses to impress.
Yeah, he dresses to
the
impress.
1,000 day champ. Come on, he's not going to come dressed like a bum. I couldn't think of it.
Yeah, I'm not going to come dressed as Josh Kirby to professional events sometimes where he decides to wear sweats and I have to go tell him to go back home and put on some freaking jeans to at least make it look a little professional.
Come on, man. Come on.
I forget how long ago that was, but yes, you are correct. You are correct. All right, gentlemen, we're back in business. Carlos looking all fresh to death with the shades. Dan Dembski killing it up there in Northern Virginia. The weapon Dan Dembski. Let's have some fun. Let's have a lot of fun. Episode 236. The headlines to start things off. Yes, indeed, Brian Daboll has been fired as New York Giants head coach. I think long overdue. This story has happened before. They're keeping their general manager in place, which I don't really agree with, but it's the New York Football Giants.
Yeah, I want to get Carlos's thoughts first.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Since he said stupid, I want.
I mean, it was stupid. Why are you keeping the general manager, the guy who let go of Saquon Barkley for Daniel Jones and also was brought in alongside Brian Daboll? It makes sense. This is just the New York Football Giants. This is just what they do. They just cannot stop keeping a general manager for 2 years too long. Clean house.
Yep.
And start over if this is what you're going to do, because it makes no sense for you to keep the general manager who built the team that you currently have, this team absolutely stinks, even though they have some pretty decent pieces, of course, with Jackson Dart. I think he's going to be a special player. And of course, I like Scatterboo. I like his playing style. You know, they got all these great defensive weapons, but they still are struggling at defensive back. Their offensive line sucks. They have one good offensive lineman. And look, it's just they're going to keep this guy and they're going to let him make the coach, help make the new coach hire. That makes absolutely no sense, because it just why he was brought in with Brian Daboll. The reason why they were brought together is because they were both buddies in Buffalo, and that's why they got this job, because they thought that a good GM and head coach relationship was the key to success. Clearly, it didn't work out, and honestly, I'm not necessarily putting it all on Brian Daboll. I mean, I actually think Brian Daboll is a halfway decent coach, but it obviously didn't work out here. And I think it should be the GM gone as well. If you're going to fire Daboll, fire the GM, because he's a stooge. Hard Knocks should have showed you everything you need to know.
Yeah, 100%. This has to be an organizational change. It can't just be what this appears to be, which is just a Band-Aid covering another wound with this team instead of addressing the actual issue. Maybe the only justification I can think from the other side of this is that even though they are not a good football team, like Carlos said, they do have a couple pieces where they could improve or could be better in the future. but you can't put all your chips into what's going to happen next season or 2 or 3 seasons from now. You just don't, because you just don't know. I mean, injuries are the main thing I'm thinking of, and Cam Scatabo is a great example of that. I mean, he obviously got hurt and very serious injury, so you just don't know. But yeah, I agree with Carlos. I think you have to. I mean, as they say, the fish rots from the head. I think this is another example of an organization, and we've talked about several this season so far that just seemingly don't have the general manager to bring in the right people, right, or to focus things in the right direction, and that's kind of been the case for the Giants since he got there. So, I also agree with Carlos's point that I don't think Daboll is necessarily a bad coach. I think it's a bad situation in general that he came into, and that he was, in my mind, he was always going to be the fall guy for whatever happened with this football team, and that's kind of what he has become at this point. So, I agree. I think you have to address the general manager. Ownership has to do something about this. But it seems like they're complacent with just mediocre football right now in New York. I think both teams in New York, but especially right now, especially the spotlight's on the Giants, of course. But frustrating that they're not doing more, but I would imagine it's not going to be far down the line when we're talking about the Giants firing the general manager as well. So that would not surprise me.
I mean, this has happened before. You look back at the history, and similar things have happened in the Giants organization. So this isn't like something particularly new. It's
a team that has turnover, right? In that, in the head coach and in the general manager. I mean,
yep.
it's happened over and over. So
yeah, and a franchise that hasn't really been successful since, I would say, Eli Manning left. Yeah, I mean,
they've never been able to touch what they were able to do with Eli Manning, for sure.
I mean, they had 1 year of success under Daboll winning that wild card game against Minnesota, I believe, but that was about it.
Yeah, and then I think at that point, right, you do have to look at the general manager. You do have to look at, number one, who are we drafting? Who are we signing? Who are we giving away in free agency? I mean, Carlos mentioned it, that deal that sent Saquon Barkley to the Eagles was just, I mean, an absolute fleecing by Philadelphia. That is a hell of a reflection, I think, on the general manager. So there's not much positive you can say about what he's done to build this team, to build this roster, or really anything. I think, again, there are some bright spots there. I think Jackson Dart can be a solid quarterback in this league, but they're going to have to protect him, and they haven't, like Carlos said, they have one decent offensive lineman. You have to protect your franchise quarterback. That's got to be priority number one for the Giants for the future. But it's a total mess. It is a total mess, and I don't know how much longer this guy's going to be around. I would expect at the end of the season we're talking about his firing, I think. But
normally it's like, let's see. I think the last it was when they fired Ben McAdoo, and then I can't remember the general manager's name back then.
Was it
Gettleman?
Yeah, Gettleman. Is it Gettleman or Gettleman?
Gettleman
with a G.
Okay, with a G. Okay, yeah. He stayed 2 years after they fired him.
Yeah.
So that it just shows that they keep the general manager 2 years too long. Clean house. If the Giants ever want to reach the heights of that success again that they did in 2007 and 11 it was.
11, yep.
Like, if they ever want to reach those heights, which in all honesty, they were lucky runs, if we're being honest. If they want to reach that form of success, they have to clean house. You can't keep the person who is responsible for the product that's out on the field, because he's the one who made the decisions on who to sign, who not to sign, who to release, who to trade, all this stuff. That was all this guy. So
it's all personnel, and yeah, and like you said, Carlos, and like I said too, like there's not much the head coach can do if the personnel that's been supplied for him is terrible or is not getting the job done. So, I don't think a Hall of Fame head coach could have necessarily gotten the Giants out of the kind of rut they've been in. So, it's an impossible job, which will be interesting to see who they decide to go after and who actually wants that job right now.
Current candidates that I've heard thrown out there is Cliff Kingsbury, because he's a great evaluator of quarterback talent, even though he's struck out on Kyler Murray. But
Yeah.
but when you really look at it, he's been tied to a lot of the best quarterbacks in the league. Like, he really has, actually. Another one is Spags, because obviously he's from the area. Like, he coached in New York. The 2 Super Bowl runs were because of him over there. So, and if they want to take away from the Chiefs dynasty, you take Spags out, that's gonna hurt. But the only reason why that one probably doesn't go is because he is an older coach. He's a defensive coach, and it just depends what the Giants are. They looking for an offensive minded coach for Dart and for Scatterboo to kind of build that up, or are they going to be focused on because they have a great defensive line, and Spags could do a lot with that talent. And but again, it's where do you want the head coach's focus to be? And then another one is Stefanski. Let's say Stefanski gets fired from New York, or not from New York, from Cleveland. He's coach of the year 2 times. Why wouldn't you bring him to Cleveland, or from Cleveland to New York? I mean, Stefanski's a great coach too. It's just he's in the same position as
given dog water.
He's
correct.
That Deshaun Watson trade has really hindered what he can do with the team. And there's this awful quarterback play. They had a lot of great talent before, and you saw what he could do with that great talent. But now all that great talent has been taken off the board 100%. And sent elsewhere. It's just so he's one. And then of course Bill Belichick is thrown out there just because he just is. But honestly, I mean, look, if you want a good GM head coach, you bring Belichick as the head coach and you make Jordan the freaking GM. There you go. You make Jordan the GM because she runs everything else in his life now. So might as well.
He's been a disaster in North Carolina. I would be surprised
you say Vince Lombardi, or not Vince Lombardi. Jesus, that's the freaking head coach. Oh, Michael Lombardi, is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Michael, he's a clown.
You say Michael Lombardi is the general manager, but in reality, we know Jordan is.
It's Jordan.
Pulling
it's
the
Jordan.
strings.
Yes. Jordan. Yeah.
So
Kirby's flustered.
Yeah. I mean, I think you all touched on it.
Yeah.
So, let's move on to the next item of discussion on the headlines, which is some inconsistency between the Packers loss, the Bills loss, and a 10-7 victory the Broncos had over the Raiders.
By the Denver Donkeys over there.
What in my question, and Dan and Carlos both said I was very vague.
Oh my God, dude! Shut up! Like you don't have to try doing these dumb pity parties here, man. Like, oh my God, we told you were vague and because what did you say? The inconsistency in the NFL. But guess what, Kirby? It's always inconsistent. So you were too vague. So that's what I said. I was like, that was too vague. Let's talk about the Packers, the Bills, and the Broncos. And whoever else I threw in there. And my God, now it has to be, they said I was being vague. Oh.
Yeah. So
you send me away for a week, and this is what happens.
I send you away.
I have to keep you in line. I didn't say you specifically. I'm talking about in the general universe. The universe sent me away for a week. I had to handle some business. We had to make a new deal. We had to get a new toy for myself. Okay, and this is what happens. I'm gone for a week, and Josh Kirby's out of line.
So the Broncos defeat the Raiders 10-7. The Bills.
That game,
awful game. Awful game.
Honestly, all the primetime games were trash.
They were all terrible this week. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the Steelers losing. I'm like, what?
That's not surprising.
Yeah,
but maybe for you since you picked them.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick them anymore.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I'd stay away from them right now.
The Bills getting shocked by the Dolphins.
Literally.
And
Guys, I'm sorry. They have a Super Bowl hangover, guys. We know
I
this.
saw that joke. I saw that
we
joke
know
too.
this. It's their Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah.
Guess what? We got to give them a pass. They just won their Super Bowl.
Nope. No
Come
pass
on,
for me.
guys. Cut them some slack. Cut them some slack.
oh
MVP.
yeah, they just won the Super. I get it now.
The September champs won the championship in November.
The reigning MVP was not very good in this game.
Yeah,
No.
it's just very. It was just a wacky week seeing the Packers falling to the Eagles 10-7.
That crazy of a
Well, the
loss,
Packers have
but
had
it
some
was just-
bad games this year.
They
also.
just look terrible.
Yeah, they just look lost on offense.
I didn't even watch the game, and I knew they looked terrible.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I was checking the score periodically here and there. 0-0, 0-0. And I was like, how are we at
No offense
halftime
at
and
all.
it's 0-0? What is going on here? I mean, the Eagles, they're on the same boat. They're inconsistent as heck, too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Packers at home, considering what happened with Carolina a couple weeks ago, they lost last week, correct?
They did.
To the Bronze?
To the Bronze.
To the Bronze, right?
Mhm.
Yes. Was that
Yeah,
last week
to
or
the
the
Bronze. They lost to them. And then you come out like what? If we really want to talk about this,
you're right. It was the Panthers last week, and
was it the Panthers last week?
Yeah, because they lost to the Browns in week 3. But you're
never
correct.
mind,
That
I'm
was a
sorry.
similar game, like
Totally
low scoring,
just-
3-point win.
It was the Panthers last week. So it's like you
3-point
lose
win.
to the Panthers at home
Yeah.
of all times to lose. And then you come out against the Eagles. And like my point that I was trying to say earlier was, if we really want to talk about the September champs, the Packers are really the September champs. Because after week 1, we all crowned them. We were like, oh my God, this team is going to be unstoppable. And they got more weapons coming back. And now Jordan Love can't even pass. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, to me, they have no identity on offense right now. They just don't. I can't really understand what it is. They have weapons. They have what you would think would be a very consistent offense, but you said it, Carlos. Jordan Love has just not been very good, quite frankly. And
he's shown like flashes
Yes,
here and there. There's some
certainly
games he's
has.
like incredible. And then there are games he's on a rough stretch right now, for sure.
Right. Well, just those first 2 weeks. You mentioned the week 1 win against the Lions where they looked really good, and then, of course, beating the Commanders, which, I mean, it's not much. Not much. We thought at the time, right? We thought at the time that was an impressive win, but now it's not as much. But since then, especially the last 2 weeks, there's no rhythm in this offense. There's nothing in this offense. It's brutal. Both these games at home, at Lambeau, the offense just has to be better. I mean, the defense couldn't do much else in either of these games, especially against Philly. Holding Philly to 10 points and you still lose is just ridiculous. So, I mean, I don't know what the answer is for the Packers, but to me, it starts with Jordan Love. He just simply has to be better.
And I think in the case of Philadelphia, since we're talking about inconsistent, it's them too. Their offense is still being super inconsistent. But the difference being is they got the big plays. They got the huge Saquon Barkley run, and then of course the touchdown pass to Devontae Smith from Jalen Hurts. Right. At the end of the day, they got what needed to be done, and they won the game as it should be. Right? If you're there, the Super Bowl champions, they should be able to find a way to win. Again, in the NFL, it's not about style points. Just get the win.
Right.
But we do have to say, look, we're heading into week 11. What we see is what we see. The Eagles' offense is broken, and it's the same thing. Sometimes they show good moments, and then consistently week in and week out, we have seen they can't figure it out to get it together on a consistent basis. And that is terrifying heading into these final stretches of the season. Now that we're past the halfway point, God, I can't believe we're already we're almost done, boys. Like we're already almost done with the regular season. This hurts my heart.
It's so crazy. I'll say it's like to me, a signal of just what their offense has been how often they've had to run the tush push. Like Just think in
It's
years
ridiculous.
past.
It's
Don't get me
ridiculous.
started
They
on that
stand
play.
by.
It's
They
5 or
stand
6 times a game at this point. Like this shouldn't be happening. I mean,
they're just pressing. They're just spam pressing the button.
any time, right? Like anytime it's a in 1 yard situation or even 2 yards sometimes they'll do the tush push. This is crazy. Like what are we doing? If you can't call like a decent play,
that's why it's going. The play is going to get banned. They
is.
put way too much attention and use into it this season. Prior seasons,
I'm
yeah,
fine
they
with it as a
ran
goal line play. I'm fine
They-
with it as a goal line
and
play.
they
If it's
ran it,
run
yeah,
legally,
on like 4th and 1s.
Right.
Yeah, they would run it, but like
that makes sense.
this season, it's just
too much.
too much,
Way too often.
way too
Yeah.
much.
Way too often.
I hope
that's-
you saw the replay I sent you.
We all saw it.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Kirby.
we know.
We all know.
You know how
We
you
all
can summarize
know.
what you sent? Officiating sucks in the NFL. What else is new? It's been bad. all
Breaking
season.
news: water is wet.
Yeah.
Officiating sucks.
So bad. And this year has been particularly bad. But I think every year just gets gradually worse in the NFL. They got to do something about the officiating, but that's another thing for another day.
They need to start using
but-
some VAR, video assistant.
And they
referee.
have to get full-time officials, which is I think the NFL is one of the few that doesn't have like dedicated full-time, which is just a crazy thing. But yeah, I think you guys, I think you nailed the struggles with the Eagles and the Packers because they basically have the same problem right now. That's why the game is 10-7 is the final score. So
Every primetime game sucked this week, and
it was bad, really.
it
Bad.
was. I mean, from Thursday to Sunday night,
Sunday night was
to
brutal.
Monday.
Yeah, they were all brutal.
That was bad. It's real bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on to our next topic, we'll briefly touch on Travis Hunter. He is out for the season-ending surgery. It looks like he'll be back at full strength in around 6 months. So for the rookie, maybe a little less than half a season played. I think he did a pretty good job for where he was at and what he did, but maybe he builds on that for next season, but he will be sidelined for the rest of this season for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult loss for the Jags. I mean, you talk about a guy of his caliber, of being able to play on offense especially, but also a little bit of how much defense did he actually play this year?
Not much.
A little bit, right? Like it says he started 4 games on defense, so like he played a little bit on defense.
Yeah,
but part of me wonders if that's what I don't know would wore him out faster than just playing one side of the ball. I don't know, but either way, he's a great talent. Obviously, we knew what he was. We saw what he was capable of at Colorado. Obviously, winning the Heisman. Yeah, this is just a very difficult loss for the Jaguars, a team that has had a lot of struggles this year. I mean, obviously they're 5-4 right now. They're not out of it completely. In that division, they're probably not going to win the division, but they have a shot to, get in as a wild card. But yeah, I'll just say it's just a huge loss for them. He seems like a great player, a great teammate. Like if you see what the other players say about him, they love playing with him. And it's just a big loss to this team. A guy who had a lot of expectations coming in as a rookie this year, and I think he's met them pretty well.
I agree.
It can be hard on a team like the Jags that talk about inconsistent. They have been a little inconsistent themselves, but
A little.
a little, yeah.
Very. It's that loss still pisses me. I still can't believe we lost to them. I can't believe Kansas City lost to them. That dumb team we somehow lost to.
Yeah, it's they're also one of those teams that's like 2 different teams. You never know which team you're going to see every week.
Like a box of chocolates.
Like a box of chocolates. I think without Travis Hunter, that definitely does not help their situation. Because who else is Lawrence going to throw the ball to?
Yeah, Brian Thomas Jr. if he can get going again.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He's a pretty good receiver, but yeah, that's all I have. I think overall it's a big loss. Tough to see, especially a rookie have a season-ending injury like that. It's always tougher when you see a young guy get hurt like that. So, yeah, I hope he recovers and he's back in the shortest amount of time. But obviously, I think he should take his time to get back for sure. Don't.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously he'll be done. He'll be healed in the offseason, so it really shouldn't matter anyway. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I don't really got much to say. I mean, Dan pretty much covered it.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, who's the MVP up until this point?
Me, damn it! Because
Carlos,
we're talking
Carlos
about.
Martinez.
Sorry, we're talking about the NFL, not the.
Yeah,
Pick'em.
yes, the
All
NFL. I'm sorry, Carlos.
I mean, look, obviously it's kind of a quarterback award. So Matthew Stafford, if we're going quarterback, but if we're being really honest, guys, it's Patrick Mahomes. I'm kidding. No, it's Jonathan Taylor. Like, I mean, let's be honest here. He's not putting up the numbers in terms of like what Saquon was putting up, like a 2,000-yard season and all that. But he's carrying that team. Like, he's really like, look, and I still have my reservations on the Colts. I still don't think they're as good as their record states that they are. Again, when they actually played a decent team, they lost. When they barely beat the Falcons here. Granted, this game was in Germany, so you know what? I'll give them a pass there. It was a long travels, all that stuff. But, you know, they got the Chiefs coming up, so now we're going to really see what they're all about. Yeah, look, I would say, Jonathan Taylor should be the MVP, but we know this award goes quarterback, so my money's on Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford's been great. I mean, obviously at this point, you know, as a Ravens fan, I'd like to say Lamar Jackson because if he
pulls this off, right? If you guys win out, yeah, you really got to consider him
because we saw what they were without him, right? And that's what MVP is.
But we did part of it. He was still around for, and he was healthy for
couple games.
The debacle against the Bills, the win against the Browns, and then obviously the loss against the Chiefs and all that stuff.
He was not good in the Chiefs game, I will say.
And the loss against the Lions too.
Yeah,
he was around.
He was not great in those games. I will give you that. But yeah, I think if he wins out, he's obviously my MVP. But right now, I think I like
the MVP of your heart, Dan. He'll be the MVP of your heart.
eight forever. 8 forever.
8 for never. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I like Carlos's pick for Matt Stafford. I really do. He's just at his age, what he's been able to do is just phenomenal at that position. It's just so hard to pick one guy. So that's gonna be my answer. I'm gonna pick Matthew Stafford as well. Just what he's been able to do at his age. He just looks like he's 15 years younger than he really is. I mean, that's just as simple as it gets.
And I think going into the season, it was all about, his back. He's dealing with a back injury. And I'm sitting here going, that's all BS.
What back injury? I don't see
what back injury. I never believed those reports. I was like, dude, Stafford's going to play just like Stafford always plays.
Exactly.
And he's lining it up.
Yeah, Kirby, who's yours? I want to hear yours.
I gotta say Matt Stafford too. I really like and respect.
Real original. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, I did some digging. I did some research, and I think.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Did you use ChatGPT?
No.
Since you're using ChatGPT for everything else.
No, I did not. I did not use it. But I really like and respect what the Rams have been able to do. They're really, really playing very good football. I really like the way they played against San Francisco too. And I just think Matt Stafford, again, as Dan said, at the age he's at and the caliber of which he's playing, it's huge. I do like Jonathan Taylor too. I feel like
good pick too.
I feel like if Stafford maybe drops for whatever reason, you would certainly hope not. Taylor might get some votes too. I'm going to throw in a wild card though.
Oh God.
And tell me if you don't agree with this.
I already don't agree with it.
I think I know who it is. So
Sam Darnold.
Shut the hell up.
No.
Really?
No.
He's been
absolutely not.
He's been good, but it's another level to be MVP.
All right.
Can I throw a wild card in there?
Sure.
Why are we forgetting about the great New England Patriot Drake May? Come on,
Drake maybe. Right?
Maybe.
You do
on.
have he's the odds-on favorite right now.
Yeah,
Like he's like
really
legitimately the favorite to win MVP.
He's been great.
I just don't think they give it to him.
Yeah, well,
I mean, look, the Patriots' resurgence this season has to be studied because it's not like they necessarily added that many new pieces to this team.
They really
they did was just switch out the coach. Yep. And that's all that's saying is that Gerard Mayo last season, which we all know he was, but was actually 10 times worse than what we thought he was because Vrabel, and I expected the Patriots to do better this year. I thought they were going to be at least a wild card team. I knew they had the talent, and obviously we all know how great of a coach Vrabel is. Which, by the way, Vrabel is probably going to be coach of the year.
Oh, he should be 100%.
110%. And
it's not Dan Quinn.
No, it's absolutely not. But shut the hell up, Kirby. Just shut the hell up. We'll get to that. All right, don't say anything.
Sorry.
But anyways, yeah, like so I knew that they were gonna be better, right, than what they were, but I didn't think they were gonna be as good. Like the way they beat Tampa was absolutely beautiful.
Nuts. Yeah.
It was beautiful. And by the way, I was the only one who picked them. These two stooges decided to go with Tampa. I don't blame them. Look, it was a toss-up game.
To me, that was a prove-it game, and Drake May proved it.
I mean, they went into Buffalo and they won. Yep. They went into Tampa Bay and they won. And they have like a clear, and especially with now this Bills loss to Miami, they have the pathway is clear for them. They're going like the pathway to the 1 seed is clear. Obviously, they're still battling Indianapolis, for that position. But the Patriots right now, yeah, they're pretty good. So Drake May, you do have to throw him in there.
Yeah,
because he's been playing lights out.
Outside of that, I don't really have anyone else.
Not yet. It's okay.
That's a good list.
Just wait.
Yeah, we don't. To me, there's no clear cut. Like,
he's inevitable, boys. He's inevitable.
Here we go.
He's coming. He's coming.
No, he's gonna be. He's
inevitable.
He's gonna be struggling to get into the playoffs this year. I'm just saying.
Absolutely not. You'll see. You'll see, Dan. You'll see.
I'll stop picking them then, because every time I do, they lose.
You'll see, Dan. You'll see. That's not true.
No, partially true.
All right, so with that concludes the headlines, and we have so much more to come on episode 236 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. We will take a look at the home team report, how our teams did in this past week in the NFL. Stick right here with us. Guys, Josh Kirby here with my friends at Frederick County Parks and Recreation, the title sponsor of Kirby on Sports. Winter basketball, one of their most exciting sports leagues, tipping off here soon. Registration is open until November 10th. The Thanksgiving Day 5K, one of the biggest races of the year, and the New York City trip that Parks and Recreation offers each and every winter. If you're interested in any of those or even more activities that Parks and Recreation has to offer, you can visit their website at fcprd.net for more information. For sports fans living in condominium and homeowners associations, as well as business professionals, when you need a reserve study, PM Plus Reserves has been in business since 1990. Their studies are accurate and easy to understand. Check them out when your association needs a study. www.pmplusreserves.com. You can also contact them at 703-803-8436. Once again, www.pmplusreserves.com. Is it finally time to upgrade your home's interior? How about with an authentic farm table made locally from recycled barnwood? Shenandoah Primitives, based right here in Winchester, Virginia, makes farm tables, benches, tables, coffee tables, and a long list of other items for your home decorating needs. At Shenandoah Primitives, function and style are combined for great furniture that will last generations. If you're interested in combining the industrial look of metal with wood, or considering something incredibly unique with a live edge, Shenandoah Primitives turns those ideas into reality. Thinking about a mirror, wine rack, or other accent piece for your home, Shenandoah Primitives can assist with that as well. As a local small business, Shenandoah Primitives is happy to work with each client for a custom design or schedule an appointment to come out and view current inventory. Local, high-quality, handmade items can be found at Shenandoah Primitives. Find us on Facebook and Instagram or visit us at www.shenandoahprimitives.com. Once again, that's www.shenandoahprimitives.com. It's now time for the home team report right here on the Kirby on Sports podcast. I'm joined by the weapon Dan Dembski and the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez. So glad you're with us. The first game on the slate, we'll talk about the Ravens' 27-19 victory over the Minnesota Vikings. Dan, I'm sure you're very pleased about this one in a game where the Vikings committed too many costly penalties and turned the ball over. And the Baltimore Ravens, credit to this Ravens team for capitalizing on what mistakes Minnesota was able to make and cruise to 27-19 victory. I know at times this game was semi-close, but the Ravens doing what they need to do and capitalizing and getting the job done.
Yeah, to me, this game starts on the defensive side of the ball, just getting pressure. They finally got good pressure in this game on J.J. McCarthy and thus forced him to turn the football over twice and also forced a lot of errant throws. That's really what started it for me. And then in the secondary, I thought the secondary played pretty well. Obviously, with a team like the Vikings, they're going to get some big plays here and there. We understand that Justin Jefferson's going to have one big play a game, typically. So he had that pretty early on in this game, maybe in like the second quarter. But I thought overall the Ravens defense did a good job of just limiting the big play. They might give up, a few yards here and there, but I thought overall they did a good job of just not giving up, again, the breakneck or type of plays that this defense early on in the season was giving up consistently. Like Carlos said, against teams like the Bills, the Lions, and the Chiefs, that they had big play after big play in those games. The defense has come a long way since then. Now, obviously, to that point, Minnesota's not, they don't have quite the same weapons and offenses as those teams, but this team has made progress, and that's the thing that I like to see. They're not just winning, but they're doing things better on both sides of the ball. I mean, obviously on offense, you have to point to Lamar Jackson and what he's brought back to this team. He's given that offense a jolt of energy, and you can just see how much better the offense flows with him running things. And obviously it's pretty easy when you saw what it was like when he wasn't there, which there was no rhythm or no really heartbeat at all to this team. I think the biggest concern I still have for this offense is the offensive line. We've talked about it over and over again. They were not great in this game at times. You still had the same guys like Voorhees and Daniel Falale, just like they're just not blocking. Simple as that, or whiffing. So that's a big concern for me for this team as they continue to play into the second half of the season now, which again is just crazy to think that we're past the halfway point now. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this team. I will say again, offensively, another key to this game was just running the football. Derrick Henry didn't have his best game, but he ran it a lot. They ran him a ton of times, and I think over time that wore down the Vikings defense, and then the Ravens were able to hit some big plays, especially in that third quarter when they started to get some separation there. So, I'm happy with how this team played. This was the first week there was no one on the injury report, which is crazy to say that they didn't have any issues all week. Or no, I think everyone practiced. They were fully healthy. Never thought I'd say that. If you asked me 4 weeks ago, I would have said that was impossible. So, I'm just happy with the win. It's another one down. We got to keep rolling. Obviously, this week coming up against the Browns, I think it's a game where I want to see us really win handily, and I think obviously this seems like the kind of opponent where you could do that. and just score some style points, even though style points don't matter in the NFL. It'd be nice to do that anyway. But that's really all I got. I don't have a ton to criticize. I haven't the last few weeks. They've been stringing together wins, and I really can't complain with how it's been done. And yeah, I mean, I'm watching how Pittsburgh is doing, and increasing our chances of retaking the division. Obviously, we have to take care of our business, but I'm happy with how that looks now as well. So it's kind of all coming together right now, I think, for the Ravens. Obviously, always things to fix, always little things to patch up, and hopefully they can continue to be effective on both sides of the ball. So, yeah.
Well, everything is going as I have foreseen.
Yeah.
I'm like Darth Sidious over here. I can foresee everything.
Yeah.
Look, there's a reason why the sports books weren't willing to knock them off as the favorite to win the AFC North, and it's because we all knew that coming out of the bye week, the schedule was going to get lighter and easier for them, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing their role perfectly by losing. It was a great week for you guys. Look, you guys got Pittsburgh to lose. You're now only one game out from first place. You still have 2 games coming up against them. They're not really much to fear. Like you said, there was nobody really on the injury report. The team is finally getting back healthy. They're starting to get their stride together, and it looks like another AFC North championship is within sights. Now, Kirby obviously is the one who makes this joke more than I do about taking out the basketball hoops and all the distractions and such, but it's clear that it has somehow worked, because look, Miami did it, and look what happened to them. They went beat the Buffalo Bills.
There's something to it.
It's kind of a case of, why do you guys even have this? Keep the main thing, and that is what Baltimore is doing. They understand the position they are in. They understand that they need to win. They have, I think I gave you guys a 1 to 2 game margin here.
Same here.
Very thin,
about 1 to 2
razor
games.
thin.
Yep.
So, look, it was a good performance. Obviously, going up to Minnesota and playing at 1 o'clock
stadium
here. I think it's noon there.
Noon there. Yep. Yeah, they're an hour behind.
During that time I think I can't. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm guessing it's noon. So a noon o'clock kickoff. Obviously, you're in the Great North. Luckily you're indoors in that beautiful stadium. But it was the battle of the purple monster eaters, basically, whose purple was better. But yeah, look, like I said, great performance by the Ravens, great win, and got to keep this train going, because
that's it.
Honestly, it would be kind of a travesty if you guys miss the playoffs and freaking Pittsburgh gets in.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I think you all touched on it well. Just the Vikings, they just gave the Ravens every opportunity. And
when JJ McCarthy's over there throwing 2 arm punts.
Yeah, two easy picks. The easiest picks that they'll.
I know.
Malachi Starks, and I forget who got the other one.
Can we have a serious conversation about JJ McCarthy here?
Yeah. Let's do it.
What do we think about JJ McCarthy?
What do we think about JJ McCarthy? I'll let you guys go first.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think he's up and down, because you've seen he's had some good games, but at other times, not the best. So I'm not really sure what to make of it at this point, but the word that comes to mind for me is inconsistent.
Yeah, well, that's the word that's coming to your mind all day today, but
it's hard for me because the sample size this year is only 4 games, right?
I agree with that.
He played the first 2 weeks and then missed.
Has a weird ankle injury that kept him out for weeks. We still don't understand it.
He was out for I
think he was out for a month.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard for me to really nail down what he is right now. I mean, obviously, if you look at the games he has played, it hasn't been very good. But he was a guy coming out of college that really, I was never that impressed with him, quite frankly. So, I mean, I know I was far from the only one who thought that, but so maybe it's just a case of the fact that he's not a starting quarterback in the NFL. It could be possible, but I think the key is I need to see more from him. I need to see more games. If we get to the end of the season and he's still, like a guy that's going to put up Jameis Winston type numbers, right, where he gets you 30 and 30, right? That's just what you expect from him. He could be that kind of guy for his career, but I think I'm still in the feeling out stages of what he is as a quarterback, because it's just impossible right now for me to say definitively he's terrible or he's not very good or whatever. I think he's just average right now as I slide away from my desk. And until I see more, I think that'll be just kind of what I think he is for now.
I think you got to think, obviously he wins the national championship with Michigan.
Yep.
Not really known. He wasn't necessarily the reason why they won it.
Mm-mm.
I mean, they were a run-first team. They had an elite defense, an elite offense, in terms of running an elite running offense, and he just didn't make mistakes. He was a great game manager.
He was. He definitely was.
Then he's injured his entire rookie season, so he doesn't play a single snap his rookie year. This is technically his first year. And then he plays 2 games, stays out for a month, and he's had 2 games since, and he's like, eh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, Kirby's word of the day, inconsistency, is the correct term here, because even it's not necessarily his play on the field, just his playing time on the field has been very inconsistent since getting into the NFL, missing a whole season, playing 2 games, missing 4, playing another couple games. Just the inconsistency is hurting him. He needs to be playing consistent football to, like you guys said, to really evaluate. Was it the right move to move on from Sam Darnold to give the reins to JJ McCarthy? Because Sam Darnold's over there in Seattle killing it.
He's
killing
it. He's balling out.
Staving off pumpkin mode once again. He went pumpkin mode here at the end for Minnesota, but guess what? Sam Darnold is back. But
he's ageless.
There needs to be more time to evaluate whether JJ McCarthy is if that was the right choice to let Sam Darnold walk so they could give the reins to JJ McCarthy.
I think what you can promise he's going to do is he's going to throw an interception. He's had turnover in every game, so I mean it's you take the good with the bad, but I think there's been some good, but there's also been some bad as well. So I would say like I'm 50-50 on him. I honestly don't know. Yeah, I think that covers my thoughts on him. And Carlos did a wonderful job as well.
Well, with that, the Baltimore Ravens over the Minnesota Vikings. We will step out for a quick time out. When we return,
get your tissues ready. Get your tissues ready.
Oh, it's gonna be a different segment. You just wait. And see.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hey there, Kirby on Sports Podcast fans. Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate here for you. Remember, if you have any real estate needs, buying or selling, I'm your guy. I would love to help you out. And you can also find me on my own personal podcast, Iconic Talk, where you get a chance to learn about the local real estate market and why Winchester is an amazing place to live. Reach out to me anytime, 540-247-1527, and find Iconic Talk anywhere you get your podcasts.
Bed bugs. The only thing creepier than thinking about them is actually having them. Trust me, you don't want to have them. Locally owned and operated Barrett Pest and Termite Services can keep you from having bed bug nightmares and infestations. Call 540-340-3922 to schedule your free inspection and consultation. If bed bugs are already in your home, we'll get rid of them so you can rest easy. We also specialize in keeping homes and businesses free of other pests, including rodents and termites. That's Barrett Pest and Termite Services, 540-340-3922.
It's Jason, General Manager at Shenandoah Music, here to tell you all about...
Jay, what are you doing here?
Well, Matt, I'm trying to tell the people about our selection of guitars, basses, keyboards, drum sets.
I know that, but I always do the radio spots.
You get to have all the fun. I want to tell everyone about our huge selection, unbeatable prices, unmatched service, and in-depth knowledge.
Jay, I really don't think now is the time to discuss.
So remember, folks, when you think music, think Shenandoah Music in Winchester.
That's my line.
And we welcome you back to episode 236 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. So glad you're with us. I'm with the weapon Dan Dembski and the Swiss Army knife, Carlos Martinez. We'll get into the Lions 44-22 victory over the Washington Commanders. Any thoughts from you two, gentlemen?
What? No, you first.
Yeah, I'm on to Madrid, Miami and Madrid.
Attention, loyal listeners of the Kirby on Sports podcast. The following segment contains high levels of Kirby brand whining, complaining, and possible overreaction to sports-related events. We'd like to take a moment to apologize, but let's be real. You already know what you signed up for. While we strive to bring you balanced and informative commentary, sometimes the passion overflows. Please enjoy the upcoming segment responsibly. Thank you for your patience and continued support. Kirby's Complaint Corner begins now.
The perfect primer.
On to Miami and Madrid.
Shut the hell up. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same sort of stuff we've been hashing out the past couple of weeks. I mean, nothing's really changed from this team, and it's just seems to be getting even worse, in my opinion. Like, the defense is non-existent. Ejections.
A historically bad defense.
I would say historic. I would say historic enough to have Dan Quinn yank play calling from Joe Jr.
That's not meaning that it's historic necessarily. But
no, but I'm just saying he did yank the play calling duties from Joe Jr. Is that going to help?
Should have been
probably
done,
not.
4 weeks ago, but yeah.
I mean, it's the same old stuff. I don't think anything has changed. If it's just gotten progressively worse. That's pretty much all I have to say on it. It's plain and simple. And if you think that is to the level...
I mean, my God, bro. Like, my God.
By the way, not a single sack in this game either. Not much pressure from this defense. That's kind of the start of the issues, and then the secondary you just can't cover anybody.
I mean, and the injuries do not help at all. So
it's true.
Name one time an injury has ever helped.
That is true. That's a good point.
Name one time.
Yeah, when that guy got hurt, we were better.
I mean, Carlos, if you think that's Kirby level complaining, then that's fine. But
Kirby, you're always complaining.
We've hashed this out week in and week out about this team. It's the same story. It's just getting progressively worse.
So what? So what do they do? I mean, obviously they can't just stop at letting Dan Quinn call the
Here's
defense.
the thing: is that like we've talked about what they can do over and over. Kirby is right here that like it's the same. We've had this conversation
because
every
gets better.
week about the whole notion of consistency and how hard it is to consistently be good, and then we compare them to the Chiefs and to the whatever other teams.
You compare them to the Chiefs,
and then it's we literally just go in circles every week about this thing.
I mean, what is there new to talk about? I mean,
your pain and misery.
I mean, honestly, this was a very stress-free game for me.
Okay, I mean, I can see why this. This time, I know you're telling the truth.
Coming into it,
your expectations are finally like your expectations are where they are.
I just kicked up. I'm like, I watched the game and I'm like, I look and I'm like, well, you watch the replay and you can see why is such and such not up here covering them. Why is Bobby Wagner chasing down a
50-year-old
like Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Yeah, it's bad.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't agree with the fact that Amon-Ra St. Brown got away with punching Deron Payne, and later on Payne punches him and gets a 1-game suspension. I mean, you just have to be more of a leader than just straight up.
Okay, no, that is no. You see, this is where we differ because I actually agree with Deron Payne here. You got to get your lick back. You can't let some guy just punch you in the face and you do absolutely nothing about it. Listen, if I'm ever blessed to have kids of my own, this is the rule. You don't start the fight, but you damn well better end the fight. All right, because look, you just can't let somebody punk you like that. You got to get them back. So I don't blame him for getting his get back. As a man, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's not about being a leader in all this other stuff. No, you don't sit there and let somebody do that to you. And the funny thing is about that video that Deron Payne released of him getting hit first is the ref was right there.
It was
and he didn't throw the flag. And I'm like, bro, what are we talk about the inconsistency of the NFL?
We talked about officiating earlier. It's terrible, and that's just another small snippet of it. So,
what else? It seemed like this game got really, really chippy, too.
Well, considering that you guys were the ones who ended the season last year, yeah,
that's true.
I
could see why.
Dan wanted to make a point with his offense because now he's calling the offensive play.
Yeah, I was going to say we should touch on the fact that even though the Lions have been doing a pretty good job, Dan Campbell took over play calling.
Well, it's because of, what Jameson Williams is complaining. He's not getting any action in this offense now. I guess something happened between the offensive coordinator and Dan Campbell, and not necessarily a falling out, but I guess maybe just more of a not being on the same page type thing. And Dan Campbell was like, look, we have all these weapons and we're not using them.
Yeah.
Taking over. And so, it looked okay. I didn't necessarily notice that big of a difference.
Yeah.
But in
all honesty though, I really was as soon as it was already 20, but by the second quarter, I tuned out. I turned the game off. I turned all the games off at 4:00 because the 4:00 slate was terrible. It was all blowouts. By the second quarter, every game was done.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, the NFL's got to figure this out. They got to stop loading up the 1:00 slate and leaving the 4:00 slate with only 3 games.
That's always been what they've done, though. It's that would be a big change, but it has been one of those years where the 4:00 window has, significantly been more blowouts than I can remember in any time.
It also doesn't help when they're 2 cash cow teams that get all the viewers. When the Chiefs and the Cowboys are both on bye.
True.
So, I can't really pinpoint where or how this team gets any better from here.
We have already had this discussion, Kirby.
You're just trying to salvage anything you can salvage.
I don't want to rehash it. It's injuries. It's just a year after having a magical run. This is what happens. You guys are just going to recalibrate. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. We've had this conversation.
Yep. There's not really much more we can say.
What's Dan Quinn's future? I've seen a lot of fans that want him fired. I think that's ridiculous.
I think it's okay. It's just one of those years. It's just a bad year. I don't think you fire him after this season.
No. Yeah, I think that's a little bit extreme.
Yeah, I'd say.
You have the oldest team in the league.
Deep run to the playoffs.
You have injuries. That I just don't think it's
over here trying to make 28-3 analogies that don't make sense.
Oh, yeah, that was a brutal one. That is true.
Don't remind me.
Don't remind you. You were the one who was trying to make it. The hell?
That's why he doesn't want to be reminded of it.
The hell? If I didn't step in, my God, who knows where that thing would have ended up.
So
he might have still been trying. We would have been recording 3 weeks in a row. That episode would have never been released.
I was fine to just let him go. I wanted to see what direction.
No, and at a certain point, it just got stupid.
No, but
this was a revenge game for the Lions. They wanted to come out and
they did,
and they certainly did.
But so. I'm not sure what they do about Joe Witt Jr., the defensive coordinator.
He's terrible.
I think that might be a case where they let him go at that.
Well, again, Dan Quinn's already taken over defensive play call, which actually that was surprising to me that he didn't keep it as it is.
It's true.
So he was basically just the CEO head coach. He was pulling the Mike McCarthy the first couple years he was in Dallas. You see, that's where that went wrong. Again, I don't understand head coaches that give up play call. Like, I understand if you have two very talented coordinators that you can rely on, like Ben Johnson and like Aaron Glenn. Like, I understand that, right? But if you know your skill is the play calling of a certain position, like Dan Quinn, his play calling for the defense of the Dallas Cowboys was phenomenal. He was great. Why would you give it up? Like that? Like, again, Andy Reid is not giving up play calling to Matt Nagy or Eric Bieniemy. Like, he's calling the plays because he knows at the end of the day he's probably the better play caller because that's his talent. Sometimes he's a little too cutesy with it, but sometimes
it's part of it is like
stupid. But yeah, Dan Quinn. Hopefully that'll help a little bit. I don't know. There's such a huge talent discrepancy on that defense in terms of just old players not having enough young talent. It just is what it is.
I think a lot of times head coaches have their hands in so much different stuff. They don't want to have to also call the plays on one side of the ball either. So I think that's why a lot of them give up their expertise necessarily to just kind of oversee everything. Because being a head coach, you kind of have to be involved in everything. Although some coaches, it seems like they don't make any decisions. John Harbaugh, but I think it depends on the coach, depends on the situation. But I would guess that's why he gave it up to start with. But I think now he's not gonna relinquish his defensive play call powers now. There's just no way. No matter if this defense gets worse, even if this defense gets worse, I should say.
I'm gonna make a prediction here.
Oh God, here we go.
Oh yeah. You ready for this one?
No.
I have a feeling Washington will be looking for an offensive and defensive coordinator come next season.
Oh, you're really going out on a limb there, buddy.
Yeah, that's a hot take, scorching hot.
Yeah, scorching hot. It's getting very hot in here.
They also hired a guy who this was the first time he'd been a defensive coordinator, so in the NFL. So that was a big risk they took to start with. So I never thought really Joe Witt was a great hire to start with, but I was just like, who is that? And I had to go look him up and see. He's an assistant coach, bounced around much different teams. So
yeah,
I think it wasn't doomed to fail, but it was going to be a tough road for him, I think, from the onset, quite frankly.
But I mean, other than that, I don't really have much to add. It was what I expected. It was a relaxing Sunday evening on the couch and just watching what the Commanders did wrong and just questioning why. Pretty much. Like,
why?
I mean, why is Bobby Wagner
good right there? Oh, why?
Why is he wide open? Stuff like that.
Those are honest questions to ask.
Yeah.
Understandable.
But I was not upset. I was not angry.
I believe you. No, I
did
again, actually, like this time, I actually do believe him. Like, I do actually believe him.
Yeah. I mean, plain and simple. It's going to be interesting, Madrid, though. Out of country, they're very injured, and I don't know.
Is it going to be interesting, though?
Well, they are underdogs.
They're going to be underdogs every week, there, boss. Hate to tell you.
Oh well, yeah, I'm not surprised at this point. So,
well, look, at least it's the Dolphins. So I mean,
well, you got it. So you got a shot. I mean,
you guys have a shot if Tua turn the ball over. It comes out.
Tua turn the ball over. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. That is true. But then after that, it's a much needed bye, and then seeing how it goes from there. But Commanders fall to the Detroit Lions by 20. And that's
22.
about all we have. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm bad at
the
that.
Chiefs.
Yeah, no Chiefs. And Carla, we did miss you last week because we did discuss that game.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I watched.
So
I had my own takes, and if had I been on the show, you guys would have been eviscerated. Mostly you, Kirby, but.
All right.
I can't remember what Kirby said now. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
I can't remember precisely, but I remember when I was watching it, I was like, what the heck are y'all talking about? It's okay.
All right.
That's why you have to be here.
Well, that's enough with the Commanders talk.
Thank God.
Let's get into a more happier subject. After this commercial break, we get into the best segment this podcast has to offer, the Kirby on Sports PickEm. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going downhill quickly.
The Cider House is now open on East Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester. The Cider House is open starting at noon Wednesday to Sunday. Stop in for a wide variety of ciders on draft, as well as 4 Virginia beers, wine, and ready-to-drink canned cocktails. Don't miss our lunch specials featuring our house salad. We also have dinner specials too. Stop in today at the Cider House, located on Piccadilly Street in downtown Winchester.
Are you looking to take the final steps in order to get your driver's license? Look no further. On the Road Driving School offers teen and adult driving, along with classroom sessions for teens and adults, DMV re-exam classes, and driver improvement classes. On the Road Driving School has what you need in order to get on the road. Contact them today at 540-869-6105. That's On the Road Driving School. 540-869-6105. Fall is here, and Nulook Landscaping has everything your home needs to look its best. Brighten your yard with colorful mums available now. And don't forget, Nulook offers professional power washing to give your home a fresh, clean look. Call Nulook Landscaping today at 540-327-1244 or email them at 2025.nulook@gmail.com. Here we are. We are back in business. Episode 236 of the Kirby on Sports podcast. I'm with the weapon Dan Dembski and the Swiss Army knife Carlos Martinez. It's time for the best segment this podcast has to offer.
America's favorite segment.
Yes, America's favorite segment, the Kirby on Sports PickEm. I don't have to run through them this week since Carlos is back.
Yep, this is better run by me since I'm 10 times more entertaining and better dressed, of course, as your three-time 1,000-day reigning champion. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, look at this. Just look at these beautiful standings. I mean, I'm in first place. Dan is in second place. Kirby's in last place as he stuffs his face because God forbid he doesn't eat during the podcast.
15 minutes. That's all we got.
Running a real professional operation here.
Come on, man.
Real professional. What are we eating, Kirby?
Some stir fry.
It doesn't matter what you're eating because at the end of the day, you're back in the Kirby zone. 4 games behind me, 2 games behind Dan. Ladies and gentlemen, from this good to average podcast, we bring to you Week 11's Kirby on Sports PickEms. And the standings go as so. Your reigning, defending, three-time PickEms champion, 1,000-day reign is in first place at 38-21. The OG champion, my esteemed co-host, and this podcast's favorite number 2, the Josh Allen to my Patrick Mahomes. Wow, I have a lot of things to go down when I do Dan's. Is in second place at 36-23, 2 games behind your boy. And Kirby, rightfully where he belongs, in the Kirby zone, because God forbid he ever wins this freaking thing, is in last place at 34-25. I had a perfect week, our second perfect week of the season, because Dan had the first one. I had the second one. Kirby always came close, but he always missed it by 1 game.
Let the record show. Yeah.
So with that being said, the games we'll be picking now that I've gone on my rant. Look, when I put on this outfit, I just feel the energy of heel rock, Hollywood rock. Okay. So it just I just have to let it out. Okay. But anyways, the games we're going to be picking, the marquee matchup, Denver against Kansas City. we will be also the next marquee matchup, Los Angeles Rams against the Seattle Seahawks. We are also going to do the Buffalo Bills against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Los Angeles Chargers, another great matchup, the Philadelphia Eagles against the Detroit Lions, and the Minnesota Vikings against the Chicago Bears. I will go first, as always, as your three-time 1,000-day reign Pick'ems champion. I've said that so many times already. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs over the Denver Broncos, as I'm contractually obligated to. I'm going to take the Los Angeles Rams over the Seattle Seahawks. This one was a very tough game to pick. It really was. But I think it being in LA wearing their midnight uniforms, I think they're going to come out. And right now, like we said, Matthew Stafford's playing at an MVP level, but this will be a very competitive game. I'm going to take Buffalo over Tampa Bay. It's in Buffalo, so it's always a tough place to play. Buffalo is going to be wearing the throwback helmets. Actually, they're going to be wearing their white uniforms at home, which is also odd. I'm trying to look up the weather report really quick, see what it's like, what it's going to be like in Buffalo really quick. Buffalo, New York. We are looking at Sunday, 53 and raining. Okay, so it's not going to be snowing, so it's not going to be terrible conditions.
Doesn't really favor either team. Yeah.
But I just think Buffalo is going to want to really bounce back from that Miami loss. And Tampa Bay is, still dealing with some injuries. So I could still see Baker winning this game and Tampa winning, because it's not as if Tampa's not good. Like, Tampa's still good. It's just they're still a little banged up and they need to bring some guys back. I'm going to take the Chargers over the Jaguars. Look, the Jaguars absolutely choked that game against the Texans away. I don't know how that happened. That loss made no sense to lose. And the way they lost was just absolutely embarrassing. Good on them. Love that. Yeah. And the Chargers, again, despite losing Joe Alt and, just dealing with injuries here, there, and everywhere, I mean, they're still consistently playing very good football, I think. So I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to take the Eagles over the Lions. Look, as much as we know the Eagles are playing inconsistent, this game is in Philly, but Philly just finds ways to win. So until they don't find ways to win and they can slide, I'm going to keep taking Philly. And then I'm going to take Chicago over Minnesota, because Chicago is just playing better than Minnesota, I think. And I think Ben Johnson's slowly starting to figure it out with this team. And while I'm not necessarily I'm still a little iffy on Caleb Williams.
Me too.
I think I would still have Caleb Williams over JJ McCarthy. So with that, I will throw it to my esteemed co-host whenever Kirby's not here. This podcast's favorite number 2. And the Josh Allen to my Patrick Mahomes, the OG Pick'ems champion, Dan Dembski.
Thank you, Carlos. Always love the intros. It's something I always look forward to. I'm going to start by picking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Denver Broncos. I think this is a game where the Chiefs kind of obviously coming off a bye. They're getting extra rest. We know how good Andy Reid in his career with the Chiefs and the Eagles has been coming off a bye. So I really like Kansas City in this matchup, going on the road, taking down the Broncos and winning and starting to get attention again, because right now they're really not. No one's really paying attention to them in the national spotlight. So I think that changes after this week. I will take the Rams over the Seahawks. This is a tough game to pick. I really like how Seattle's been playing recently, especially Sam Darnold is really clicking on all cylinders. But I mean, the Rams have been one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. So, and I really like what Stafford's been able to do. So I think he's able to get it done against this Seattle defense. And I think the Rams win a very tightly contested game here at home against the Seahawks. So I will take the Rams. I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Bucks going on the road to the Buffalo Bills and taking down the Bills. I think this smells to me like could be a kind of a signature game in Baker Mayfield's career, regular season, of course. It just kind of feels that way to me. I think obviously they want to bounce back. Like Carlos said, they are banged up, but I think they play pretty inspired football in this game against Buffalo. And I know Buffalo's extremely talented. I know they still I mean, they had the last year's MVP, the reigning MVP, I should say. But I can't really trust them right at this moment, I think. And I think Tampa Bay is able to win this game, is able to eke out a win. I'm going to take the Chargers over the Jags. They're just playing better football right now. It's as simple as that. And I just kind of like what they've been able to do. Jacksonville is all over the place. Inconsistent, which is a word we said earlier in the podcast. I think that reigns true with them, and so I will take the Chargers. I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles over the Detroit Lions. This could be one of those types of low-scoring games we've seen the Eagles have. I hope it's not. I hope for all NFL fans it's not. But this could be that kind of game where we see just a defensive battle, quite frankly. But I think Jalen Hurts and company are able to get this done at home. Tough environment to go and play if you're Detroit, and I just think right now I trust the Eagles a little bit more than the Lions. And then lastly, I will take the Bears over the Vikings. Carlos said it. I can't really summarize it any better. The Bears are just playing better football right now, and I really like what Caleb Williams has been able to do here recently. He had a heck of a game this past week, and I think he cools off a little bit compared to what he did this past Sunday, but I think he's still able to help go on the road there to Minnesota, get an impressive win in division. So with that, I will throw it to the CEO and host of this fine okay to good. What is the phrasing? Is it okay
good to average?
Good? Good to average podcast. Josh Kirby, over to you.
Dan, thank you very much. I am in last place. I suck. So here are
my God, jeez, and the pity party continues. Like, my God, is this just like a defensive mechanism that you do? Like, you just have to mention I've already mentioned it plenty of times. Like, why do we have to keep? Why are you bringing it up?
Because I'm not a good picker. That's plain and simple.
Are you good at your other league?
Yeah, our other league is completely different to this.
So you didn't answer the question.
Elaborate?
But yes, we are middle of the pack. We're tied between 4 other teams.
It's a group. Okay, I see.
Yeah. It's a big pick'em group. It's a snake draft each and every week.
Sure. Okay.
So snake draft to pick your teams.
Yeah.
Once that team's off the board, you cannot pick them. So you have to pick the next available team.
Okay, I got you.
And then you can fade each other too. So say Carlos, you had a teammate, and myself and a teammate, you picked the Chiefs Broncos.
But
we could go ahead and pick the Broncos, and we would be fading your game. So that means if the Chiefs lose, we win, or vice versa. So it's a strategy tactic.
Okay.
So with that, my picks, I will be taking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Denver Broncos. I think the Chiefs are looking pretty darn good, Carlos, and I'm picking them. This next one was very, very tough. The Rams over the Seahawks. I'm picking the Rams. I just think the Rams have a little bit more than what the Seahawks have, so I will be taking Los Angeles. I'll be taking the Buffalo Bills over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bills are at home. They're going to rebound after a loss to Miami, I guarantee it. You have the Chargers.
Please don't.
He's Joe Namath. He's Joe Namath out here.
Kirby.
He's going to clip this, I guarantee you.
Yep.
I mean, I already have a clip from the beginning of the season where you tried to interfere into my intro video with you being like, oh, this year's going to be different. I guarantee it. And look, it's the exact same. Don't guarantee anything.
I'll take the Chargers over the Jags for obvious reasons. The Jacksonville Jaguars blew a pretty significant lead. I'm taking the Lions over the Eagles. I think that this Lions team with the change of offensive play calling will help. And I think they have a pretty good chance of beating Philadelphia because their offense, there's nothing too powerful. But again, as Carlos mentioned, the Eagles find ways to win. So this could be a very close matchup as well. And the Chicago Bears, I am taking over the Minnesota Vikings. The Chicago Bears on a pretty big winning streak. And Ben Johnson's doing things the right way, I think. So I will be picking the Chicago Bears over the Minnesota Vikings. So with that,
Minnesota.
Carlos, do you have standings from last year you want to?
I have some history since you guys decided not to do any history last week.
Yeah, I did.
Not from what I saw.
Did I not, Dan?
You might have at the very end.
Yeah, I announced what our records were at the end of week 10 last year.
Yeah, he did.
I might have to go back, but from what I recall, I don't remember seeing that. But
yes,
maybe I cut it off early. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I put it all up, and it seemed like we were
all right. I will double check, but from what I last freaking remember is that you didn't. Jesus Christ,
he's just trying to defend his own honor. All right, let him.
My God, you know, relax, Mr. Last Place. I understand the basement gets a little hot down there, but you know, you should be used to it by now. Anywho, so going into week 11 last year, me and Dan were tied for first place at 42 and 18. So clearly none of us are on pace for where we were last season. And Kirby was in last place at 39 and 21. The more time changes, the more things stay the same. Am I right?
Yeah, true.
Kirby in last place. But listen, Kirby, you were 3 games out at this point last season, and you still came up pretty close. Ultimately ended up in last place on a technicality, but you're not out of it's not like you're out of the race yet. It's not like you were 2 years ago where like you just completely bombed. By this point it was over for you. You were tapped out, but you know, you just got a couple picks here and there and you're back in the race.
There we go. So with that is the Kirby on Sports PickEm. Now the saddest part of the Kirby on Sports Whoa, what are we doing here? Okay, there we go. Okay, the saddest part of the Kirby on Sports podcast, our time to sign off. So another exciting episode, Carlos. We're glad you're back. Happy 1,000 days because you're a legend, man. You're dressed sharp. You're a legend all around. You do everything so damn good, Carlos. You're one of the best of the business.
Well, I appreciate that, Kirby.
Yes, sir. And Dan, I appreciate you. It's always a pleasure conversing, and I'm glad you were able to be on the show today, my man. It's always an honor and a pleasure.
Sorry to laugh. I just had to.
I know Dan touched on it. These two touched on it at the beginning. But this, Kirby, I hope you really do take this lesson. Confirm the story before you come and tell me anything, because I was so confused because I literally had just texted Dan. Me and Dan were just texting, and next thing you know, I get a message from you saying, Dan is really sick. I don't know if you know that, but I just wanted to let you know.
He didn't even ask me.
Then I was so confused. And so then what did I do? I took a screenshot of that text and I sent it to Dan. And I was like, Kirby's saying you're really sick. What's going on? And then Dan's like, I'm okay.
Well,
and then he then says, is he maybe talking about a different Dan? So then I go back to you and I ask, what Dan are we talking about? Because, hey, I know like 5 Dans, okay? It's disgusting how many Dans I know, okay? And funny enough,
you watch it.
I know this Dan who's a Ravens fan, and I know another Dan who's a Ravens fan. So it's a lot to keep in my mind, okay? So then you go, Dembski, and I'm like, he's saying otherwise, and you go, really?
Well, the way it was conveyed to me, I thought he was in bed just sleeping for a couple days. So
which is true. That was last week though.
Earlier in the week, it was pretty rough. Yeah,
and that's probably what I was told.
Well, you remember on the podcast I was like, I had to mute myself and blow my nose a bunch of times. Yeah. I was down bad last week.
Yeah, but the way it was conveyed, I thought you got something else or something.
Critically ill, yeah.
No, just in bed, and I was like, let me tell Carlos, and just in case Dan doesn't want to be.
Like the way you framed it, Kirby, you made it seem like he had like some terminal illness or something.
I did not mean it like that.
So like I was like, what the hell is going on here? So
and then Carlos is like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?"
And then the weirdest,
I was so confused because I was like, I was literally just texting him. If something was wrong, he would have said something.
I would have told him. Yeah, I would have told both of you guys.
Yeah. And then the funniest part, Dan texts me, and it comes through my second phone number.
Yeah, it's you know how iOS is. It sometimes picks the wrong number.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he's got his business line. Yeah.
So I was like, wait, what are you doing? And
you got Adam Schlefnerd. You've got all these Kirby. Let's confirm the story before we start telling people anything. Okay.
Well, listen, the moral of the story here
is go to the source. The first thing you should have done was text Dan and be like, hey, are you okay? My mom just told me this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's the first thing you should have done instead of coming to me and saying Dan is sick. I don't know if you know, because now you're just spreading rumors.
Listen,
it's true.
I know, but at the end of the day, this is something we can all chop up and laugh about and just.
Oh, I was dying last night. That was one of the highlights of my night last night. Aside from the great meal I cooked, the terrible Christmas movies I watched, that was one of the highlights, was seeing Josh Kirby learn in real time. Hey, confirm the story before you start telling people.
Hey, in the end, Dan, I'm just glad you're here. We love you, buddy.
Thank you. I'm glad you've now told both of us you love us. Thank you, Kirby. No, that really means a lot. I'm glad I'm well, better than last week at least. I'm not lying in bed, which is good. And this is really fun, boys. Always a good time with the 3-man booth.
It is
Kirby
always a great. Yes, absolutely. Our sponsors: Frederick County Parks and Recreation, PM Plus Reserves, Shenandoah Primitives, Mark Francis with Icon Real Estate, Barrett, Pest, and Termite Services, Mark Lynch with Guild Mortgage, Shenandoah Music, Icon Media, On the Road Driving School, Nulook Landscaping, the Cider House, Barry Pearson with Equipment Share Advanced Solutions, and the official energy drink of the Kirby on Sports podcast, Don't Sleep Energy. Use promo code KOS Podcast for 12% off your order every single time. Find us on all streaming platforms, all listening platforms, YouTube. Follow us, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Find the rest of our work at www.kirbyonsports.com. And I tell you, we are pumping out some great content, not just me, but the legend down below me, Mr. Carlos Martinez, with all the great.
That was phrased.
Yeah, the great footage.
Phrasing, brother, phrasing.
Hey, no, I'm just saying the great footage we're doing for high school sports. I'm telling you, the playoffs are right around the corner too.
Okay.
So
yeah. Cool.
So I appreciate it again.
I can't participate this week, so I'm not that excited about it. It sucks.
But anyways, you can find all our work at www.kirbyonsports.com. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for spending some of your day with us, and we will catch you on the next episode.